Here we go.
Good afternoon, YouTube. This is man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we have a few more days left of March. Wow, I mean, time is flying by. It seems like we just started the new year, and we're about into 4 months of 2026. I'm telling you. But also, folks, you know, next weekend is going to be a big show, which will start the women's bodybuilding IFB Pro Division season, and that is the Triple O Dynasty. I want to give a shout out to my dear friends Eunice Martinez Kitchen and also David Bryan. As you know, they both are sponsors for the show. I want to give much respect to my brother and my sister, and also myself. I am sponsoring one of the jackets for the winner of the show. So shout out to Bad Rap, shout out to Female Body Forum, shout out to the Triple O Dynasty. Can't wait to see the show. I might do a little something on that day. I would love to have gone, but where things are a little tight right now, I'm also saving for another trip. But I can't wait to see the return of women's bodybuilding in the IFBB for 2026. So, folks, as you know, I'm not a big fan of the Auto Classic. As you know, it does not have women's bodybuilding physique or figure at its show, but it does have fitness, and fitness is one of the second oldest divisions for the IFBB for female bodybuilding. And I always want to give a shout out to them, especially some of the ladies who I've done interviews with. I've done interviews with a few fitness competitors. And some of these ladies who just competed just no more than a few weeks at the Arnold Classic are competing this weekend at the Arnold UK. Now, that's one of the biggest shows outside the United States for bodybuilding. It's been around for quite some time, you know. So the list came out a couple of days ago. My man David, he posted on his channel. So I said, you know what? Since I follow some of these ladies and I've done interviews with some of them, let me support them. So I'm going to also do my little video here. So the list came out a couple of days ago, as I said, and we have quite a few ladies. And these ladies, just no more than 3 weeks ago, competed at the Arnold Classic. We got a few names missing, but that's some other names that wasn't on here before for this year's Arnold Classic. As you know, it's one of the biggest events, especially for fitness. So let's get started here. First, we have Dr. Abby Bolton. Now, Abby has been in the game for quite some time. She's been a multiple-time Olympian. She's also been a multiple-time Arnold Classic competitor. Amazing lady. You know, I think last year she was top 5 at the Olympia. So, you know, let's see how she do at this show. She also was in the top 5 here at this year's Arnold Classic. Next up, we have is one Mrs. Danielle Chickless. And Ms. Chickless has been competing for quite some time. She just competed just no more than a couple of weeks ago at the Arnold Classic. And she's also been competing in quite a few other shows. So let's see how she does at this one. Next up, we have is a lady who's been a guest on my channel before, the lovely Miss Anna Fomina. You know, Anna is from Russia, and she's also a client of the PRs, both Autumn and Oksana. This year was her second time getting invited to the Arnold. As you know, she made top 5 at last year's Olympia for fitness. And that's pretty good. You know, she's only been pro for about 2 or 3 years. And, you know, impressive young lady, and I hope she does well at this show. Next up is a lady who I'm a fan of, is Marcel Fadua Messiah. And just a beautiful, lovely chocolate. I love this picture. Wow. Just her skin. She's just beautiful, amazing. I follow her on social media. I've seen interviews with her. I'd love to have her as a guest. As you know, she's originally from the UK. So this is going to be a competition in her own backyard. She won this year's Arnold Classic for the Fitness International title. And also she's coming in as the current Miss Olympia champion. So this possibly, you know, this is a person that's going to be the one to beat. I feel like she's definitely going to take the title here. Next up, we have is a lady also who's been a guest on my channel, the lovely Mrs. Stephanie Jones. Now, Miss Jones has been competing for quite some time, been a multi-time Olympic competitor, multi-time Arnold Classic competitor. You know, a couple of years ago, she took a step back from fitness and did wellness for a bit, but then made a return and then got qualification for the Olympia 2024. Amazing lady, proud mother and wife, and also a coach and a trainer. So let's wish the best of luck to Stephanie Jones. Next up, we have is one Mrs. Allison Kramer. Now, Mrs. Kramer has been competing for quite some time, multiple time, both Arnold and Olympic competitor. She was in the top 5 this year in both shows. She was really close between her and Michelle in the top spot for the new become the next Miss Fitness Olympia. But amazing lady, great shape, great condition. I'd love to have her as a guest. Next up we have is Michaela Povolova, and she is from Slovakia, and that's the country from a certain first lady's from. She's been competing for quite some time. This year was her first time getting invited to the Arnold. Precious young lady, great physique, great potential. Let's see how she does. Like I said, she did pretty well this year, being her first Arnold. Next up we have is Nicolette Szabo, and she's from Hungary. Hungary, that's a country where there's quite a few bodybuilders that come from that. I mean, quite a few some ladies. She's been competing for quite some time. I know she competed last year. She's also a natural competitor, which is pretty good, be a natural competitor. So this, I believe, is going to be her first time doing the Arnold UK, I believe. So, like I said, let's wish her best of luck. And next up we have is one Miss Janine Tardo. Mrs. Tardo has been competing for quite some time. She's been to Arnold. This year was her second time. She was invited in about, 2020. My man David got to talk to her a little bit. David talked to quite a few ladies at this show. Amazing lady, great physique, conditioning, mature woman. And, I hope she does well at this show. And last but not least, we have is Tamara Vaughn. Been a big famous Vaughn, multi-time Olympia, multi-time long sports competitor. Originally from Canada, but I know she lives here in the States. She lives in Tampa, Florida. Fan of hers. She has a great, quality about her. Amazing physique. This is one I feel like, maybe she might need to switch over the figure. Her physique is a level where she looks like she's a competitor. But I know she still has a passion for fitness, and I respect that passion. She's also a wife and mother. And also she helps and trains other people. So let's wish her best of luck, and let's see how she does this show. It's going to be a tough lineup, especially when you have the current Miss Olympia champion coming in. So anyway, the show is going to start on the 27th, which is tomorrow, to the 29th, which is Sunday. You can check it out. They'll probably let you know which competitions are going to be going on. It's not like the Arnold classes, which is like almost a week-long extravaganza. It's only like about, at most 3 days, from Friday to Sunday. The pay-per-view is going to be on, so if you want to check it out, they probably do it for free. I don't know. As you know, in UK, they are 5 hours ahead of us in the United States. So if you got to watch, you got to get up early in the morning, or you just catch the pre-judging later in the evening or afternoon, depending on how it works. About late in the afternoon for us. So check it out. Shout out to the ladies. Particularly if you have a division or a fan you're fan of, or if you're a lady or division you're a fan of, check it out. Me personally, have no interest. But anyway, this is my Joe's page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out.